Yeah, man.
What a go on? I am Michael Marvin Samuels. Watch me cook tinned mixed vegetable codfish stew, aka mixed vegetable and saltfish. Get small can or tin mixed vegetables, quarter between half pound codfish or saltfish, 1 stalk scallion, 1 small onion, 1 garlic clove, half teaspoon dried basil, half teaspoon dried parsley, half teaspoon dried rosemary. Visit JamaicanDinners.com, JamaicanCookings.com. You could use a small amount of tarragon herb as well. You can use any of these herbs fresh, chop it fine. If you do not want to use herb, use 1 between 2 teaspoons all-purpose powdered seasoning instead. First, prepare dried ingredients for cooking. To do this, get a coffee grinder ready. Measure and add 1 teaspoon of dried parsley. Measure and add 1 teaspoon dried rosemary. Measure and add 1 teaspoon dried basil. Get a coffee grinder ready. Grind herb flakes to herb powder. If using fresh herbs, grind it separate. I am putting the powdered herbs on this plate. And if using dried and fresh herbs, grind it separate and then grind it together in the end. Keep powdered herbs separate. Another way to grind herb flakes to powder is to put the herbs flakes in the middle of your palm. Use your fingers from the other hand. Put your fingers in your palm. Grind herbs to powder. If you're unsure, do it like me. This is mixed vegetable in the can. You could use frozen mixed vegetables instead. Wash the surface of the can clean. Use your can or tin opener to open the can. Or you could do like me. Use a knife, poke it or juke it in the can and then use the knife to cut the can open. If you're doing it this way, cut away from you. If the knife slipped, it would slip in the atmosphere, not on you. Drain vegetable water and then give it a rinse. I like to sprinkle several drops of distilled white vinegar on the vegetable and then give it a final rinse. Put this aside, go to the next step. You would need 1/4 teaspoon of vinegar. You could use any flavored vinegar. Next, get a chopping mat ready. Prepare vegetable seasonings for cooking. Put the prepared vegetables in a separate container. Keep the vegetable seasonings apart. Now, peel garlic clove. Grind garlic clove to puree or mash it to pulp. Next, peel onion. I like to chop the onion in half. It's easier to handle. Peel onion. Remember, the first layer of the onion is the strongest. Therefore, remove the brown skin only. After that, slice or dice onion fine. Put diced onion on the plate. Remember, keep vegetable seasonings apart. Get a small bowl ready. Add enough water. Sprinkle several drops of distilled white vinegar in the water. You could use a pinch of salt instead. Use your hand with your fingers. Rub thyme leaves clean. Give thyme leaf a proper rinse. Put springtime on the plate. I freeze my scallion. If using fresh scallion, wash it now. If you are using fresh scallion, chop root end. Chop off the tip of the leaf that is dying. Dice scallion fine. Put diced scallion on the plate. This is prepared vegetable seasonings for cooking. Put it aside. Go to the next step. This is codfish. In Jamaica, we call this saltfish. Look, traditionally, people would rinse off the salt off the codfish and then boil it until it's tenderized. They would allow it to cool and then they would remove the codfish's bone. However, my method is different. Look, you can easily separate the codfish skin from the codfish flesh like this. If you're unsure, do it like me. Now, once you removed the codfish's skin, give it a proper rinse. This is demonstration. It is best if you do this part under fresh running water. After that, fill a small saucepan or stewing pot, quarter way full with water. Put prepared codfish in the water. Put the codfish to heat. Turn the stove flame gauge on 4, medium-low. Use the pan's lid. Cover the pan. Open lid, quarter between halfway, like this. Allow codfish to cook for between 5 minutes. After the time, this is it. The codfish is tenderized. Turn off stove. Remove the codfish from the heating water or drain the water. Allow codfish to cool. Remove codfish's bone. To do this, look on the codfish for bones. Use your fingers. Remove the codfish's bone. If you're unsure, do it like me. The codfish chunk should be as big as this. Break half-inch codfish chunks. It is important that you look for and remove all the codfish's bone. Prepared codfish. Put this aside. Go to the next step. Put a medium-sized saucepan or stewing pot to heat. Turn the stove's flame gauge on 4, medium-low. Ensure that inside of the pan or pot is dry. Add quarter cup cooking oil. I am using coconut oil. You could use vegetable oil, etc. Allow the oil to get hot for 1 minute, between 2 minutes. Once the oil is hot somewhat, add codfish. Allow the codfish to fry crispy on each side. Now listen, traditionally, people would saute the vegetable seasonings first and then they would add the codfish, allow it to cook for a minute or 2, and then they would add the mixed vegetables. However, my method is different. After a minute, between 2 minutes, flip codfish on the other side. Allow it to fry crispy. After 30 seconds, add diced or sliced onions. Shuffle the onions in the heating oil. Allow the onions to saute golden brown on the edges. After a minute between two, add chopped scallion. Shuffle the scallion in the oil. Allow it to saute. After 40 seconds, add mashed garlic. Allow it to saute. You would need 2 between 3 dried pimento berries. After a few seconds, add dried herbs. Use a cooking spoon, stir it. After that, add mixed vegetables. Do not put the dried pimento berries in the heating oil. It could burst and hurt you. Use the cooking spoon, stir it. Measure and add a 1/4 teaspoon vinegar. You could use any flavored vinegar. Use the pan's lid. Cover it fully. Turn the stove's flame gauge on low, simmering. Allow. I am using cider vinegar. After a minute between 2 minutes, use the cooking spoon. Stir it. This is it. It is finished. Turn off stove. Now would be the best time to remove thyme leaves on the stem. Use the pan's lid. Cover it until serving. To serve, tinned mixed vegetables codfish stew. Use a cooking spoon. Stir the stew before you serve it. Take a scoop of this delicious vegetable codfish stew, aka vegetable and saltfish. I am putting it on a plate with cooked food. This is tinned mixed vegetable codfish stew, aka mixed vegetables and saltfish. For the recipe, visit JamaicanDinners.com or JamaicanCookings.com. The flavor of this Jamaican breakfast mixed vegetable codfish stew, aka mixed vegetables and saltfish, is unique, meaning it's the flavor of mixed vegetable and codfish. This recipe is in cookbook Jamaican Breakfast. Although this mixed vegetable and saltfish meal is served for breakfast mainly with rice and the same cooked food, we serve this for dinner as well. The herbal powdered seasonings gave this meal a natural flavor. If you are intimidated to use herbs, use 1 between 2 teaspoons all-purpose powdered seasoning instead. To preserve this mixed vegetable codfish stew, keep it in the refrigerator for 3 days only. However, freeze it for forever. Tinned mixed vegetable codfish stew, aka mixed vegetable and saltfish. I forgot to add 2 tablespoons between 1/4 cup ketchup. Ensure to add the ketchup. The flavor of the ketchup will complete this meal. 2 tablespoons between quarter cup ketchup. Work good. Me gone.